Hello and welcome to CMS Forex News. I'm market analyst Nick Nassad. Today is Monday, December 15th, 2008. The sentiment among Japan's largest manufacturers fell the most in 34 years in the fourth quarter, as companies scaled back production and employment levels in the face of a deepening recession. The quarterly Tenkan survey fell to -24 from -3 in the third quarter. Sentiment among large non-manufacturers fell to -9, the first time it has been negative in 5 years. Japanese investors brushed off the Tenkan news as it was mainly expected, and the Nikkei 225 climbed 5.2% during the Asian session. Stocks in Europe were up most of the session as oil producers and miners' shares increased, but they fell back down on concerns over the exposure of European banks to the fraud scheme ran by Bernard Madoff. The euro-yen rose to 124.45 in New York trading, continuing a rally after the pair dipped sharply in early Friday trading. In the UK, home prices fell 2.3% in December, following a 2.9% decline in November. House prices continue to fall as distressed sellers vie for the smaller pool of potential buyers that can manage to get approved for mortgage financing in a very tight lending environment. In Switzerland, producer and import prices were down 1.4% in November and cooled to an annual pace of 1.1%. The fall was led by a drop in import prices, a reflection of falling oil and commodity prices. The pound rose against the Swiss franc, swinging 300 pips higher from its low near 1.75 at the start of New York trading. Resistance at the 1.7830 level from Friday held, and the pound began falling in later New York trading as U.S. stocks were mostly in the red. The pound-dollar pair rose 400 pips from its low near 1.4920 to hit a session high at 1.5380. The dollar weakness we saw last week continues as all the programs designed to bail out the financial system and help the economy is increasing the supply of dollars in the world. The gains seen in the greenback the past several months are most likely done as investors' flight to safety and the speed of deleveraging slows. In the U.S., the New York Empire Manufacturing Index showed conditions continuing to deteriorate in December. The General Business Index at -25.8 held near the record low set last month. The new orders and shipments indexes also remain near their recent record lows, and the unfilled orders index dropped to a new low. The indexes for prices paid and prices received fell below zero, and employment indexes remain deep in negative territory. U.S. industrial output declined 0.6% in November, the third month out of 4 that production has been negative. Motor vehicle and parts production declined 2.8% after a 3.6% drop in October. Production of consumer durable goods such as cars, furniture, and electronics designed to last more than 3 years was down 3%. Capacity utilization, which measures the proportion of factories and plants in use, fell to 75.4% as more and more plants go idle in the midst of the downturn in the U.S. economy. The euro-dollar pair continues its rally from last week, surging 280 pips in today's trading to reach the 1.37 level, and breaking through a key level of resistance at 1.35. With the Fed deciding on interest rates tomorrow, traders are pricing in the chance that borrowing costs will move to the lowest on record. After climbing on Friday, the US dollar-Canadian dollar pair fell back down in today's trading. Oil prices rose overnight before retreating in New York trading, which dictated the action in this pair. The counter rally in the afternoon bounced down off support turn resistance at 1.2460. Tonight, Japan will release data on its services sector, and Australia will reveal housing starts and its RBA meeting minutes. Overnight, Switzerland will post industrial production data, and the Eurozone releases preliminary versions of manufacturing and services PMI. Also overnight, the UK reveals its consumer prices. Tomorrow morning, the US will post its consumer price index, housing starts, and building permits. In the afternoon, the Fed will decide on interest rates and is expected to cut by 50 basis points. And that wraps up our show today. Thank you for joining us here at CMSFX.com, and happy trading.